So I came back. What did I need to do there?
What?
Commissioners, we are live.
Okay.
What? Oh, why yet? What happened? Okay, good morning. Welcome to the November 27th meeting of the Board of Riley County Commissioners. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, do we have any public comment this morning? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to commission comments. Commissioner McKinley? Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. It's holiday weekend, didn't really have this except WWW TV has a thing they call the Salute Our Heroes, where they acknowledge local people. Last week, the honoree was Lori Harrison, emergency management coordinator. It was a great video, and they discussed the work she does here, and wanted to congratulate her. Actually, it's not because I was watching Saturday morning. They reran it Saturday morning, so that was nice. And K-State women's basketball was second in tournament, losing in the finals. Another close game to Iowa. Big battle with them. Well, it was closer. The last couple minutes, or last minute when they made it was closer than that. Then Saturday evening, watched an unusual football game, strange weather and strange plays. That's all I can say.
Oh, it was cold.
It was. Did you go up?
Yeah, my boots are still wet. It was cold.
Had offers of tickets and passed.
Well, I couldn't do it. Okay, John.
Good morning from bright and sunny and somewhat chilly Hardin County, Kentucky this morning. Got a few things to share. Hopefully everybody had a safe and wonderful Thanksgiving holiday and got through what appears to be a very measurable snowfall. I heard 4 to 6 something inches. Certainly thankful for all the area public works crews who are out in force, it looks like, taking care of the roads and the other important transportation infrastructure over the weekend. Also want to give a shout out to our Hardin County executive, Keith Tall, and his administrative staff this morning for providing me the space that you see here to do this call from. And they've been very accommodating so far. And I appreciate that very, very much. I think we've taken a tour of the building and having a chance to meet with him post meeting here this morning. So I'll update you on that on Thursday when I get back. Last Monday, believe it or not, seems like it's been a while, but it hasn't. We did have a short meeting of the Riley County Law Board at the Manhattan City Hall. Had the opportunity to run this meeting as our chair was out on vacation for the holiday himself. We passed our normal consent agenda, got an update on activities and events from the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 17, which included the Tip a Cop and Shop with the Cop programs that they'll be doing over the holidays. Heard an end of the year review for the budget from Captain Yeager and Director Pete, and end of the year unused funds, which will be used to boost their worker compensation and insurance fund balances, as well as their IT fund. And any leftover funds for that will be used on a technology purchase to help upgrade digital ticket readers. And we also had several executive sessions just to deal with affirmation of behavior issues. Tuesday morning, I left for Kentucky, got in late in the afternoon to get settled in for the Thanksgiving holiday. Spent some time late that evening in Louisville at the hospital with my mom. They did have to hospitalize her earlier in the week due to some issues that popped up. Wednesday afternoon, I spent most of the day in Louisville myself, waiting to see if she would actually be released from the hospital. So in the meantime, we got an opportunity to kind of I guess, mess around downtown Louisville. We ended up over at Churchill Downs where they run the Kentucky Derby in May, of course, and was able to go through and take a tour of that. Had a really cool museum there and a really cool video. And we got to go through the grandstands and see the track level where the race takes place every year. And they actually had some races going on the grass field across the way there. So kind of actually got the feeling of the race there, which I don't know if I ever get the chance to see an actual Kentucky Derby, but it's kind of cool for me. So I'm kind of checking that one off my bucket list, at least for the moment anyway. Thanksgiving went very well this year. Instead of baking turkeys, we chose the more non-traditional route of frying them, which was excellent. Made a couple of videos of that excursion just to remember it by, and I posted them up on social media where I guess as of this morning on TikTok, that video has had a little over 13,500 views already. So caught us all by surprise a little bit, but no worries. I'm making no plans on quitting my jobs to become a digital whatever they call it. We'll keep going through here. We thought maybe 15,000 might be the threshold to do that, but we're going to leave it alone for at the moment. Friday, I spent some time just doing some shopping and catching up with some favorite places here back home while I'm here home. Black Friday was kind of crazy here. I don't know if it was there too. I chose to avoid a few places just due to what I thought was just kind of crazy all the way through the afternoon. It was just packed and busy. Saturday afternoon, spent the afternoon over in Harrison County, Indiana, which is just right across the way, over across the Ohio River. A friend of mine from high school lives over there. Went over there to watch what was a very disappointing K-State game. First off, for me, we had the first snow game, and since what is it, 2001, 23 years when we beat Nebraska. I know I've been saying that throughout the year that we've been due for a snow game, so if anybody didn't want that, I guess you can blame that one on me. But of course, I was half a country away for that one, so watched it on TV, but it was pretty cool. But what wasn't cool was what I saw from our defense. The whole time I was thinking of a quote from our former basketball coach, Frank Martin, at a halftime when he turned to Stan Weber and said, "What about defense?" I couldn't believe what I saw. They only ran 35 plays, had 10 first downs, but scored 42 points to win. I had 5 plays of over 70 yards. It's just absolutely inexcusable, embarrassing from my perspective. 8-4. I don't know where we're going for a bowl. I'm hearing maybe Memphis, Houston, or Orlando. So I guess we'll just have to wait till next weekend to figure that one out. Yesterday, spent a lot of time watching some football. Saw the Chiefs win, saw the Jaguars win. Ate quite a bit of leftover turkey. Today, I'm just going to be catching up on a few things and getting ready to head back home bright and early tomorrow morning. So, and that's basically all I've got.
Okay. Okay, well, last Tuesday afternoon, I went to Kansas City, picking my daughter from the airport. She's visiting for a week and will be returning to Virginia tomorrow. Spent most of the last week spending time with her. I did have some follow-up conversations with Amanda Webb and Shelley Woodard concerning the Keats project. And then was able to go to the K-State basketball game on Wednesday night. That was a lot of fun. Saturday night, we attended the K-State Iowa State football game in the snowstorm. There was a little break in the snowstorm before we went there, but it was full force and it was really wet. Everybody had their ponchos, everything on. It was just soaking wet. But we stayed till half. So finally, my daughter said, "Let's get out of here." I said, okay. I saw the last of it. It was a disappointing game. Hopefully we'll do better in the bowl game, wherever that is. But I was very disappointed in that. But anyways, yesterday went over today's meeting packet documents and got ready for this morning. So
Ready for business,
Yes.
commissioners? First item we have is I need a motion for the notice of intent to board soda malt beverage license for Darris Fast Lane.
Go ahead and make a motion.
Let's not again.
it's been moved and seconded to approve the cereal malt beverage license for Darris Fast Lane and Oak Creek Boulevard. All in favor? Aye.
And Phillips.
Excuse me?
Two of them. And Phillips.
Oh, and Pillsbury Drive.
Yeah. 2 locations. Yep. Thank you. Next, commissioners need a motion to approve the 2023 audit engagement letter with James Gordon and Associate CPA, PA, commencing 2023 audit services.
You can go ahead and make a motion to approve the 2023 audit engagement letter with James Gordon and Associates CPA PA.
Second.
So moved and seconded to approve the engagement letter um, required by the Raleigh County to James Gordon and Associate for the 2023 audit services. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Please sign.
Catch that.
Sign where you're supposed to sign.
It's okay. I just signed beside it.
Okay. I wasn't even looking at the names here. Okay. You want me to fill in the title and the date or anything?
No. Got it. Thank you, man. Next, commission need a motion to approve the following appointments and resolution 1127-23 resolution appointing Riley County representatives to council advisory board. We've got Ealer, Commission District 2, Big Lakes Developmental Center, Rudy Hahn, Commission District, doesn't show on mine.
It doesn't show.
Big Lakes Developmental Center, and Eric Peck, Commission District 1, Riley County Planning Board, Board of Zoning Appeals.
You can go ahead and make a motion to approve the following appointments as listed below in resolution number 112723 resolution appointing Riley County representatives to council / advisory boards.
Second.
So moved and seconded to approve the appointments and resolution number 1127 723, appointing Raleigh County representatives to 3 council and advisory boards. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Both of you, please sign.
Do I need to stop in and sign those too, Rich?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay. I may get to it tomorrow afternoon when I get in. I may not. We'll see.
Thank you.
Blame me.
Next, commissioners, Riley County Employee Action Form, Riley Davis, EMT, EMS ambulance service, separation of service. Please sign. Any changes to the minutes, commissioners?
I didn't see any. John, you have any changes for the minutes?
For some reason, I couldn't get them to pull up. So if you guys say they're good, I'm just going to go with it. Might just be a technology thing out here. I don't know. With that said, I guess I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the minutes as written from the November 20th meeting. November 20th, yes. Meeting of the Riley County Commission.
Second.
So moved and seconded to approve the minutes as written from the November 20th, 2023 meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
How the tentative agendas look, commissioners? Any items for next week's press conference? Okay, next at 9 o'clock, yeah, Catherine Hensler for museum update. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning.
Read TV.
You want to make, you need a,
Yes.
yeah.
Got a quick question for you, real important stuff. How many seats do we need to save in fire trucks for the Christmas parade?
That's Friday. This Friday. Yeah, the holiday. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it is. I think I've got that in my calendar. So,
I know we briefly mentioned it before that you may want to ride a fire truck or you may not. Last year, I think maybe you rode in this antique city fire truck, right? And do you want to ride in one of our trucks? Do we need to save a seat for you or not?
yeah, about what time are you gonna gather? You know?
I guess I don't know what time.
Oh,
the parade
okay.
starts.
Well, I will.
Yeah. You'll ride in one.
Yeah.
And Commissioner Ford.
I won't be available on Friday.
Okay, so 2 seats.
Yep.
We'll have 2 different trucks, so you will be together in one truck or.
Doesn't matter.
You can be.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can be.
Yeah,
For sure.
we'll be together.
The one truck will be from, will be number 115 from the Tonsa station and the other one, number 112 from, station by the dam. So, Well, say use 2 seats in the same truck. Then.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
Yeah, just tell us which one
Yeah.
okay,
and what time.
all right,
They meet over here at the park.
Yeah. yep. All right. so-
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
I did
Russell.
see on TV.
Oh, yeah. Lori and I think I saw it run 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I saw it a couple of times.
Yeah, so salute to them down the road.
Yeah, I mentioned it on things. Nice little video about her.
Yeah, it was.
It's good.
Yep, it was very good. That's glad you got it.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Saw another Riley County employee on WIBW News this morning, nothing related to Riley County, but small town Alma shopping, Caitlin Speth at Health Department. She was on there speaking.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. Said, I recognize her and said her name. I knew who it was.
When Vicious got out Sunday morning and shoveled off about half of the driveway, which pavement, it was only about 2 inches on there, through the pavement on it. Gotta have that. I thought, well, crowd enough. I'll do something later today. Went out in the afternoon. The rest of it had all, the sun had been in that side.
Oh, really?
The rest of it all melted off. So I kind of,
Nice.
the sidewalk was.
There
There
was a lot of mine.
But the driveway, actually, I don't know if the pavement there was warm enough or something, but then when the sun came out, like strong,
Had a lot of ice.
black asphalt, it melted it all away.
Yeah, I had a lot of snow to shovel. I was like, jeepers, glad there wasn't any more.
You see, we got more, Manhattan got more snow Saturday than they did all winter last year.
Saw that.
I heard double. It was double.
Yeah, it was that, we said we had 3 inches of snow. I
3 inches
remember
last
when
year.
it was, when they even got that much. Well, I'm sure it was over 4 times probably.
The dog sure enjoyed it. They were out and rolling around and getting faces full of snow. My daughter brought her German Shepherd.
No. When, Like my son's on Thanksgiving Day, and then one of the daughters from Kansas City is supposed to go on Saturday. She has sick.
Mm.
All Thursday, so I think I'll be okay with Saturday.
That flu or?
Yeah, if I'm not flu, yeah.
What's going around?
So, usually I can get over this in days, so I'm not, well, no, it was Friday and Saturday shift, but I'll try, so I'll go do it tomorrow, okay. Sunday morning shift, I'm still bad, so.
Hmm. One of my daughter's friends, a boy, like, he had 102 temperature.
Well, that's how Brittany's son was last week. He had 103. He got real sick last week.
So none of us won the game on the thing on.
Including K-State. Yeah, that was those plays. It was just astounding. One or two's inexcusable. But when they kept getting them, I was like, what the heck?
Well, did you see, did you watch the
You know,
Chiefs
2 years
yesterday?
ago when Iowa State played here, you know, the conditions were perfectly normal in the first play of the game. Brees Hall, first
Brees Hall.
play, ran 70-something yards for a touchdown, and we didn't have another really long play. They beat us, but I mean, they had to earn it. So I kind of thought, well, you know, snow, I mean, traction, maybe they don't have the right cleats. I mean, there was like just a couple of things to think about, but it was just boom, 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 boom. And I'm just like, wow, just wow.
I
After
like
about
what
the
Kleiman
third one,
said.
I thought we were just going to lose. So
I like what Kleiman said. He said they had the same footing we did.
Yeah.
I mean,
I did.
Really hard to see the ball though, like when
Oh, I'm sure.
when it was punted or kicked out. I mean, I couldn't even see the ball until it would hit somebody, the receiver's hand. It was like so thick, but everybody was doing that.
So, I mean, we were talking about grandson, they said, just, not at all works like that, like I said, they might, because they had people out clearing the line.
I mean, they had the snow
And he-
blowers.
and he said he might get to go do that. I don't, remember. Yeah, he got to ask me if he ever got to do that.
Yeah, they couldn't keep up with it either. They'd get the lines, the weed blower or whatever, then they were out there all the time. Every break they're out there. It's just like, and the snow was about this deep on the rest of the fields. Oh, I don't know how he got
horrible,
by.
man.
But
Next
yeah,
day
did you
was
see
fine.
the Chiefs though, Raiders' second touchdown? It was the same one. Yep, hit through the line, went 60 or 70 yards for a touchdown, untouched. Just,
We kept missing tackles.
but yeah, we had, just kind of bumping into
Our
people.
linebackers were missing tackles.
Yeah. It was like, well, it's probably
I'm sorry when I say this, but I just can't chalk that up to snow.
Oh, agreed.
no.
No, I agree.
I just can't.
Play in the snow too.
Yeah.
Well, granted, they may have more snow up there, we may be more used to it than us, but still.
I can't help but think, just the mental aspect of anything is the most important, and the mental aspect of not going to the Big 12 championship, knowing they didn't have a chance.
Yeah, but they've been talking all the last couple about undefeated year, kind of undefeated to come. That's the big goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, you have a chance that, back-to-back 10-win seasons.
Yeah.
Goofy name or not, but Pop-Tarts Bowl, it's like formerly the Citrus Bowl or whatever it is in Orlando. I mean, it's a mid-tier game. I mean, it's outside the New Year's Six, but it's in that next realm. Now you're talking, potentially the Texas Bowl, maybe even the Liberty Bowl, depending on how it lines out. I mean,
I'm hearing they're expecting Will Howard to announce he's transferring
Yeah, I've heard that too.
any minute.
Notre
Yeah.
Dame.
It's
Notre Dame?
the rumors are.
Rumors are. Yeah, I've never seen him so angry at the end of the game. He just threw his helmet down. Just really.
They said, what is it, December 5th or something? When they first, it's when you can announce it.
You can announce now. You just can't enter until then.
Can't do it.
Yeah, they said I was watching Fritz this morning. He said he expects him to announce today that he's transferring for his last year.
well, I wish him the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Disappointing last game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that defensive performance. I wonder what Clanderman had to say.
Well, somebody on the message board said, Hazelton's out of the job. Michigan State got rid of everybody.
Oh, really?
That's where he'd gone.
To me, it was execution. I mean, they were in the right spots. It was player execution. Coaches can only do so much. And, a lot of times, coaches like Tang, that's one thing I appreciated when they got beat by that one team. He said, we had the wrong game plan in the first half. He said, come back second half. He said, it was all on us. And Kleiman's done that time or two.
Yeah.
Said, us coaches could have done a better job. And I can't say that one was on the coaches. That was player execution.
Players just didn't seem to.
They didn't seem to care. Not care, but they just.
Oh, that's what he said. Kleiman said, he said, I'd never seen anything like that in my 5 years. That kind of effort.
It was like they carrying the ball and they just kind of jump out and try to tackle, just like, and then they follow that. And that wasn't snow. So
Like they expected the snow to help them
yeah, to help them
Yeah.
tackle a guy. Yeah. That was just.
So we'll get to see what Avery can do in the bowl game.
Well, they could have tried him.
I mean, since he's going to be our guy next year, just extra
They-
practice for him.
Oh,
May as
yeah,
well
it's
go
good.
for it.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
I was surprised they
Howard's
didn't put him
transferring,
in.
it's good to let him know now. Like I say, if you let Avery do all the practice, it's good to let him. Yeah, that's what I was surprised they didn't put him in for a few, just to try something different.
Yeah.
And like I say, the offense, they didn't do great, but
Yeah, I can't
They-
blame
they did
anything on
well
the
on that.
offense. I didn't think Howard looked near as sharp the fourth quarter. His
Mhm.
passes were off. He looked pretty sharp before that, but the fourth quarter, he didn't look very sharp.
Just the last couple of
Just
games,
gave
all
up.
of a sudden we couldn't.
But I can't blame this game on the offense.
What Jay you do?
They won to Cincinnati. Yeah, that's right. You see, Houston fired.
Dana Holderson.
They won a few games. They won a couple. They beat.
Last 3 years have been losing seasons, though. He's been there 5 years. Last 3 have been losing.
I think with the move to the Big 12, they've just got a decision, and usually that's what it means. You have to change coaches and to change philosophy.
He beat a couple. There was only a couple of those.
Heck, with the
Of the
buyouts
four
those
new ones.
coaches have, I say fire me.
Yeah, really. Tired of it.
Jeez, money they make for getting fired.
Yeah.
Well, the basketball game's kind of fun the other night.
Ended up not going to that one either.
We won handily. It
Yeah.
was fun. And then, last year.
The women's game, I got to watch part of it. It was on. It was that flow hoops, some special. It's a separate thing you have to do. $140 a year or $25 a month to get into this special channel. But then somebody put a link on it. Message board free. It's what but it got started in the second half and then it clicked off. It said this video is no longer available for violating policies.
Someone got caught, huh?
Yeah.
Newsletter.
It was on some
Thank you, ma'am.
You're
it's
welcome.
called Tricky or not Ticky or something. Something where you can rebroadcast stuff and we were doing it. Somebody caught it and turned it off. Like the first quarter, we were way behind. And then at halftime, we were popped back up. We played for even with them, got behind again. It started the fourth quarter, came back again at the end, and then just couldn't ever got it down to 4 or 5 a couple times. Couldn't ever.
No doubt they're a good team. There's no doubt about that. I mean, anyone would be happy to stick that close with that team.
Because Clark had one of the 30-point games.
I'm sure she was pretty determined this time.
Yeah.
Okay, Catherine.
Good morning. I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. It's nice to have a couple days off. Productive, but also relaxing. Catherine Hudson, Museum Director, coming to you at the end of this month with October staff report. So this is bouncing back almost an entire month. So starting with visitation and tours, I'm happy to report that we saw higher attendance in October than we did the previous month, as well as an increase in volunteer hours. So in October, there were 176 visitors to the museum, 40 to the Good Gnome House, 23 to the Wolf House, and then the Pioneer Log Cabin saw 36 guests. The log cabin closed for the season on October 31st, and they'll reopen in the spring. So whatever the first Sunday of April, they'll reopen. And then as far as volunteer hours, we had 60 regular, or what we call general volunteer hours. Those are our regular volunteers that come back consistently and essentially sign up for time throughout the week. And then we had about 46.5 hours generated by our Riley County Historical Society Board of Directors. And then with community service workers, we had 25 hours, and those were made between, I believe, two community service workers. As far as education and outreach, I won't go through everything, but I'll hit some of the highlights. We did have our open house and ice cream social at the Rocky Ford Schoolhouse on October the 1st. 68 guests attended, and 9 volunteers came out to support. Curator Heisman provided a hands-on classroom demo for the visitors, and then museum trustees and society board of directors served as some celebrity scoopers and dished out ice cream. That was our last incredibly hot day. It was about 94 degrees. It was a beautiful day, but it was very warm, and thank goodness for the ice cream. We did have another fireside chat on October the 10th. This one was about the 90th anniversary of the Sunset Zoo, and our special guest speaker was Melissa Kirkwood. We also had one in November. We are taking a break for December, so there will be no fireside chat this upcoming month, but we will resume in January of 2024. Those are always free and open to the public. That's a partnership with Slate Creek Coffee, and they're always held at 423 Point Ave. On October the 12th, I participated in a grants review board through the Humanities Campus for the fall 2023 Humanities for All grants and the Cultural Preservation Grant cycle. This was about a week-long process of reviewing, critiquing, and recommending for funding. And then on the 12th, we all met in person here in Manhattan, actually, to discuss and vote on the grant recipients. So those grant recipients have been notified, and their grants will start in the spring. This is a recurring quarterly grant, which provides some just really great funding for humanities projects throughout the state of Kansas. On October 13th, 19th, and 25th, Curator Highsmith and I have provided a number of presentations and outreach to community. These were mainly held, I think they were all held, yes, at Meadowlark. We do have a great partnership with Meadowlark. They invite us, we reach out to them, and they, if you've been to some of the space in Meadowlark, you know they have a really great setup for presentations. So it's been a really great opportunity for us, considering we don't necessarily have that space on site at the museum to provide presentations with technology and PowerPoint and that type of thing. On October 31st, Curator Heisman and myself attended the Bewitching at West Loop, which was held through the West Loop Business Association. This was a Halloween event, free and open to the community. We are looking at increasing our outreach in our region, and this was a great way to just, we had a booth, we decorated, we did dress up. We had Mrs. Goodnow. We also had the bat that lives in the house as costumes. We handed out about 1,000 pieces of candy. Excuse me. As far as collections in the month of October, 6 donations of objects came in. Again, those are the number of donors, not the number of items that came in. Amongst those donations, 96 individual items were reported. Curator Munger was able to process 11 backlog collections, which totaled 43 individual object acquisitions into the collection. And lastly, 4 objects categorized as museum acquisitions were processed. And again, when we say museum acquisitions, we are referring to things that are found in collections. So we are able to go back pretty regularly and dig into the backlog that is waiting for us. Archives and Library, it was a quieter month in October. Curator Glasgow managed 7 incoming patron requests from the public. There were no internal requests for research support. There were also no appointments made to use the library, but there were 5 walk-ins. She continues to follow up with outstanding requests submitted previously. Concerning buildings and grounds, I would like to give a shout out to Dave Paul. Those of you who have been around know that we have a lot of backlog. We also have some off-site storage. We consider the Whitney House off-site because that's not county property. But there's the barn, and it's been filled with museum items for quite some time. We're attempting to get that cleaned out because it is usable space for education. We could host summer camps. We could do a number of things, bring in workshops if we had that space. So part of our goal in this clean out, as a perpetual clean out, is to get that space open and available to use. The state is also working on, they received a grant. They're going to be redoing the windows and doors. They were supposed to do it this past summer, but there have been delays between funding and matching dollars again. This is through the state, so there's no financial obligation for the county or for the society, but we are on board with that project until they're able to get that completed. However, in the meantime, we are cleaning that space out. We found some massive map file storage containers that had been damaged that for some reason we acquired for future use, but they were damaged to the point where we couldn't use them. They've been out there long enough, they can provide safe storage for artifacts or maps in our collection. So Dave organized movers to come out and remove those items. So we have created a substantial amount of new space that we can use. We'll continue with that clean out process. So a big thank you to him. We do also continue to have some issues with our gallery lighting systems. These are in the gallery and the temporary storage area. Part of the reason for this is they're just out of date. So they're hard to find light bulbs. And when we're reinstalling light bulbs, we're finding that they burn out quickly. So Public Works has been made aware of this. We are working on solutions, but that is a continual thing that has been persistent and it's not improving, unfortunately. We are continuing to replace those bulbs, but we're running out of stock. So hopefully soon we'll have some sort of proposal for how to fix those and also where to rent them. We would like to publicly thank the Town and Country Garden Club for keeping the flowers and the pots and museums and entrance looking lovely all spring, summer, and fall. We very much appreciate their support, and we really, again, appreciate the amount of time they put in through donating and continuing to get those flowers throughout the season. And no other major issues concerning the museum's maintenance, buildings, and grounds. As far as special projects, last month I reported that we were going to have a wedding at the Big House. So it did occur on October 28th. It was a very small party. There were 7 of them. This is the first small wedding that I can find in the Big House's recent history, as in the last couple decades. It turned out very nice. It's not going to be ever a big major main venue, but it was lovely to see someone who was interested in a unique setting, a historical setting for their ceremony, and in turn, they did provide us a monetary donation to the Historical Society. The society is looking at other options for potentially how they could use their facilities and their sites for the rentals, whether it's small events, outdoor events, etc. We are grateful because we did not have a plan in place when we were encountered by this couple that wanted to get married. The society just didn't have any terms of use agreements or things of that nature. Our saving grace in that, though, is that it's a state site and the state does have that material. So the society will be referring to what the state's doing and follow that. process. And again, this is not for county property, this is just for historical society property and Goodnow, which is state. So the Riley County Historical Society, which is our nonprofit arm, is in the process of replacing the roof at both the Wolf House and the Wolf Studio. Contracts have been signed. We are just waiting right now for the products to be ordered. At this time, we do not have the date, which you'll see as we go down the list of upcoming events. We do have our holiday open house scheduled to occur in December. We do have that listed, excuse me, as tentative, just because if the roofers have to come in at that time, the roofing project will take priority over a social event. We'll keep everybody posted. At this time, we're just waiting for the supplies to come in, and we will have a date shortly afterwards. The society is also embarking on another preservation project with one of their properties. The door at the Hartford House is in terrible condition. It was, as I can find in talking with the previous contractor who worked on it, it looks like that door that was on there was really just put on as a replacement. The project was never fully finished. So we will be moving forward with a historically accurate replacement and likely be a built from scratch door for the Hartford House, which as you probably do know, is the small little modular home, one of a number of them that came on the steamboat Hartford, essentially to provide the early settlers here pop-up homes or modular homes, quick, easy to build shelter without having to, go in and potentially build a soddy. This is the only one remaining still, and it was built around 1855. And I'm also happy to announce that the Historical Society is seeking a third-party firm to contract for long-range planning, organizational restructuring, and board education. They have not had a formal long-range plan in the last decade, and due to the changes the board is motivated to make to modernize and improve their organizational process, they are actively seeking bids. They'll be interviewing as we go through the winter. They continue to be supportive and collaborative with the museum and our staff members, and they're being very communicative as to what they're doing and working in partnership with us. So we really do appreciate that. As far as upcoming events, like I mentioned, this is on our calendar, but it is tentative based upon the roofing project. On December 17th from 2 to 5, which is a Sunday, the holiday open house at the house will be taking place, and this is free and open to the public, and I invite you all to attend. We're going to try some new things this year that we haven't done in years previous, only because we've been able to open up some additional space. So we're hoping that occurs, and we are also hoping that a roof gets done. I have some closures on there just as far as when the museum, the society offices will be closed. Those coincide with county closure dates. And then on January 20th of 2024, from 2 to 5, also, this is a Saturday, there will be a new exhibit opening at the Wolf House Museum about funeral traditions in Victorian era Riley County. This will be free and open to the public, and we will be doing a special members event prior to this public opening. Also ongoing, just important to note, the Historical Society's annual membership campaign is taking place, and also their end of the year fundraising deal is going on. That concludes my report. Does anyone have any questions?
Who's going to build that door for you?
His name is Jerry Haffrey.
Okay.
He did the work, previous restoration for the Hartford.
Okay. There's not very many people probably be able to do that door.
Right.
If you didn't have someone, I know someone else. I know who Jerry is, but
Okay.
I know someone else who could too.
Well, I would actually like the name of that person just because anytime we have a project, we are.
And I tell you, for the museum, this person might do it free gratis. Commissioner Ron Wells is the best craftsman I know of in woodworking. And he built
That's
the
what I
doors
thought,
for
too.
the church replacement. That guy isn't. There aren't many craftsmen left. He is still a craftsman. He built all his kitchen cabinets on his house remodel from scratch.
Oh my
I
goodness.
think he did some work over at the Wolf House too, didn't he?
I don't know, but I'll tell you, he would probably do it free gratis or just materials. That's
Okay.
just for you guys.
Thank you. Yes, that's an issue we always have is we have to put the call out, and there's not many people that still do accurate work. So, yes. thank
Cindy
you.
Cabral would have his contact information, I'm sure.
Okay, thank you very much.
Keep going, I mean,
He still has all the stuff I know. I need a
That's
Yeah, that's a shock.
piece of wood and stuff for different things, and I've had him do a couple of small projects for me, but he is excellent.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Still the smoothest stuff.
Ready for Lori?
House and shop every day, but.
I'm not sure.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, John, online.
Hello, good morning.
What a lovely snow we got this weekend. Haven't seen snow like that for quite some time. The only thing that's bad about it is in the following days where I have to watch out for slick spots, because when I fall, I don't recover quite as fast.
Yeah.
It makes me nervous. So, anyway, since the last time I was here, I think I shared with you that we had open admissions for the first time in 6 years, this year. Since May, we have admitted 16 individuals into our day and employment services program, 8 in the residential and 12 in the case management. I have 4 more that are going into day services where we have a pending start date. We haven't gotten that nailed down yet, and we have 3 offers that we're waiting to hear back from. So very excited about that. We only have just a few residential openings left as far as our group homes are concerned. So, and we have had 8 people decline that we have made offers to. So, we're getting there. I'm very excited to see us getting back to capacity again. We can't expand services like backfilling over the last 6 years of losses, and until, of course, we can get more staff, it's not going to be possible for us to expand services. The statewide waiting list for funding, as of middle of November, 5,193. That's up 100 since September. Individuals, of course, that's individuals statewide. We're still at 129. That hasn't changed in Riley, Gary, Potawatomi, and Clay counties. No change there, and the average wait time is 10 years, 7 months now. Recruitment and retention of our staff. We are currently at 25 FTE openings. That's down 4 from September, which is significantly better than the 47 we had back in 2021. And turnover back in 2021 was 44%. We're at 29 now. So we're seeing a lot more retention, which is very helpful. It just takes time to backfill those numbers as well, but I am encouraged by what we're seeing. Our 50th anniversary is coming to an end. The end of this year, as you know, we've had events going on every month to celebrate our 50 years of service to the community. We had Thanksgiving dinner catered by Friendship House that was paid for by our sponsors for our clients here this last week for Thanksgiving. And of course, December, we always wrap things up with a holiday party. One of the things that we're doing in honor of our 50th for the holiday party is my marketing specialist put together a yearbook for the clients, and it has pictures from all the events that have occurred through the year, and so they have their own 50th anniversary yearbook, which is really kind of cool. So excited about that, getting that wrapped up. And of course, we have officially launched our annual giving campaign that officially launches on Thanksgiving. We are, of course, raising money for our Raise the Roof campaign. We're 1 year into that 2-year campaign. We've raised 670,000 of the 2 million. And as part of the annual giving campaign, we are offering tax credits. As I think I shared with you that we will qualify for the 50% tax credit. So if someone would give $1,000, they get a $500 rebate when they file their taxes with the state of Kansas. So it's a really great deal. It's like having a match. You know, it's a kind of a nice way to incentivize giving. And our hope is that we can raise at least $60,000 with our annual giving campaign. So that's all I really have for you today, unless you had any questions. Otherwise, I'll be back in January. And I'll plan to fill you in January about our legislative initiatives, what our platform is for our ED services, which At the top of that list is the waiting list, and getting a new waiver written and looking at employment services and trying to get better reimbursement to get people employed. That's a huge initiative that we've got going too. So any questions for me today?
Anything, John?
No.
Okay, well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And I'll see you next year.
All right. Thank you, Lori. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
Next, Commissioners, you have a press conference at 9:30.
Yeah, Barry can't be here, so he sent me a thing.
Good deal.
Okay.
Good deal.
It's flying right by.
Life does.
It does. And
Too fast.
yeah, as the years go by.
Yeah,
It's faster
too
and faster. I have not seen a correction printed.
I mean, there was a correction on Saturdays or something. Not from
Our
the-
this budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but not, you know, which I just thought Jenny ought to be acknowledged, but.
Oh, the noise.
It's not terribly intrusive.
Thankfully, no. I mean, like you can hear it, and when you point it out, like I said, I think when I first heard it, it reminds me of like your air conditioner or something. And so it's like it just didn't, but it makes sense of like, well, the air conditioner's not on right now. So yeah, but everywhere again, there's been random issues sometimes with the AV systems, like microphones not working right, and making noise, or speakers not, like it just periodically happens.
They're finicky, and cables for sound are very finicky.
Yeah, because that's what you almost wonder if something's like allergic somewhere.
Wow.
I mean,
Figuring to point it out.
in public, nonetheless.
But yeah,
So thankfully, it's just like basic white noise. It's not like super loud or super.
like that
It'd be
feedback
Oh,
that I caused earlier.
yeah, we can't allow you to turn dials anymore.
Lost my privileges to touch buttons and dials.
I know it's winter and it's supposed to be cold, but I'm never really ready for it to actually be cold.
This was a real snow. And I heard this snow a lot. Yeah.
It doesn't get particularly cold. It's actually usually warmer during the winter there than it is here. But they're close enough that they get the moisture off of the Pacific. So
The whole state.
there's a mountain range right where my folks live, and so it catches that moisture. So they do get a lot of snow, but they're supposed to handle it for one. I mean, that's like my parents put studded tires on their cars this time of year, and most people own chains. You don't need them in town, but like the one with their passes and things like that. They also have snow plows and de-icers and all this stuff, in a higher quantity. Like then when I was in Texas, where they just didn't have that at all.
Yeah, and when it snows,
Everything had to
it's
snow.
not just a total emergency.
Yeah, and people will do like, it's only like an inch. I'm like, yeah, but we also in like Austin, they stack the freeways right on top of each other. And so sometimes you're like 4 or 5 decks high trying to get up there. It's like, you can get up there if it's icy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care where you're from, what you're driving, like it's not safe.
Sounds like
So, yeah, but they get used to it. So. I'm not a big snow. I love to look at it, it's beautiful, but I hate getting out in it.
And I still love it. It's still magical to me. I grew up in San Diego. Snow is something you don't see ever.
No.
So I still love it. But if I lived in Alaska, I might learn to hate it.
So, it's funny, the biggest snowflakes I've ever seen in my life were in Texas. Like I was living in Killeen at Fort Hood, and I opened my front door, and I swear to you, the snowflakes were almost the size of dinner plates. It was the weirdest thing I had ever seen. My neighbor across the street opens the door, starts screaming to get her grandkids outside to try to get a picture of it. But that was kind of pre like having cell phones with photo, with like cameras everywhere. So Yeah, I don't have to for that. I wish I did. It was something else. Like I have never, it's the only time I've ever seen something like that. It was.
It's appropriate to have tall tales about Texas.
I mean, they do say they do everything bigger there, right? Apparently. it's-
Morning, Barry. Morning, Bethany.
You don't look like Clancy.
Thankfully, no. I'm sure. Thankfully for me.
It's your name. It's your name plate. And I won't repeat what you just said about Clancy.
It's not like the entire county, just here.
Recording.
I'm sure I'll get a text message in 5 minutes. What do you mean by that? Well, it's thankful for you, Clancy. Thankful for you.
How you doing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, got it. There's a picture.
One of you, yeah, it's hard to have a big story. Yeah, I got some. Yeah, that's pretty well.
When's K-State play again?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't bring it over.
Well, I've got.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah, can you get that?
Yeah.
All right. I told Elizabeth it didn't matter to me. You're in charge, so that's good.
It's fine.
Oh, night. Gotcha.
Then women play Friday.
Gotcha.
Men again on Saturday. Is that time before there's games
Nonstop.
all the time?
Yeah. Is Barry doing it?
It should come from you. Right? We should come from him.
Here's the chair.
Yeah, sure. I didn't realize it was in there. Just that you didn't be here. Whatever.
How are you? Good.
Oh, yes, that's right. All right.
Not gonna be a real warm week.
It is, or is it?
Not.
No?
Tough to get out of the 40s. Cold at night. 20s always.
What do we have? 3 weeks of fall this year?
Yeah.
But
If that, you know. Cause yeah, even fall, a lot of those days were 70-ish, and that's not fall weather, you know, it should be about 50. We didn't have the, 60 to 50 is what we missed out on. We went from 70 to 20.
Well, it was about 20 this morning. Which I should have.
It said 16 on WIBW is what they said, because it was predicted to be 20. And we have one old Labrador that my wife wanted to bring in the garage, so we brought her in the garage.
Yeah, they got lots.
I looked at the phone.
Really?
Yes. But I was like,
I drove my-
That's right.
I drove my truck in that doesn't have a temperature gauge on it.
Well, mine's thrown off because it's in garage, so it has,
I got
60.
She said it didn't really last until Sunday very morning. We didn't, well, there was still snow, but not here. It was dropping it off. It was good, wet, like snowman making snow.
I had the left because I'm in Colorado. There's some really 6 inches here. That's not gonna happen, but it's gonna be more. Just about either accept or for both places or don't. I'm not afraid to say what's going on. And I think it's just like, no, I just.
Barry, are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he's got it.
Well, with me this morning is Deputy Raleigh County Attorney Bethany Fields, and appreciate the commission seeing us this morning, but I wanted to announce that on October 19th, 2023, Bethany Fields, Deputy Raleigh County Attorney, was presented with the 2022-2023 Prosecutor of the Year Award. This is an award that is presented annually by the Kansas County and District Attorneys Association at the fall conference. This is an award that Ms. Fields will receive from her peers. The Kansas County District Attorneys Association is an association of prosecutors from across the entire state of Kansas, from our largest to our smallest jurisdictions. Ms. Fields received this award based upon obtaining convictions in jury trials to include State v. Leonard, State v. Colwell, State v. Meeks, and State v. Hall, which were all significant cases for the county attorney's office. In addition, Ms. Fields was also a speaker and a presenter at the CASA training, which was held in January in October of 2023. She was also a presenter and a trainer at the Child First, which is a training for forensic interviewers for children who are victims of child abuse and child sexual abuse. So she is a presenter and a trainer at that event as well. In addition to her work in the county attorney's office, she does serve on the Child Advocacy Center. And she is also our appointee to the Riley County, Clay County Community Corrections Advisory Board. So for all her accomplishments in 2020 and 2023, she was recognized by her peers. And I want to make sure that Riley County Commission and the taxpayers of Riley County were aware of her achievement as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. Speech.
Just the other thing that I think that's significant enough is that I'm on the drug court. So I'm the prosecutor on the drug court team, and I know you guys have been very supportive of that. And so I just want to thank you for that. And you know that I'm the one that represents our office on that. Okay.
A couple photos.
Okay.
Which you do, and then we'll post the commission.
Okay.
And 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Was I right?
Right. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't you think they're just a little bit over? Yep. And 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question, we have Amanda Webb at 9:40 on comprehensive plan update.
Yeah.
You see.
Yeah.
I should look at my email, so I guess. Yes, sure. Yeah.
Right, did you go to the game?
No, I did not. And I had ticket offer, but I said, no, thanks.
Yes. It was cold, but it was a neat experience.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
Oh, yeah. It was, and I haven't, it's been a long time since I've been in one that cold. Last year I did the rain one.
Yeah,
I stayed for that whole
Missouri.
Yeah, that Missouri stayed
Yeah.
during the monsoon and went back out there afterwards. Stayed to help the people I was with, because we'd driven separate cars. The other guys I was with, we all talked about we were going up somewhere to stay dry. Pretty soon I got a text from them. We're at Power Cat watching it on TV. They laughed. But
Yeah.
I stuck it out. I stuck it. After you get so wet, you can't get any more wet. I'm so
Yes.
And I had a poncho on, but
It really wasn't that cold because the wind wasn't blowing
no.
and everybody dressed up for it.
Oh yeah, you just bundle up.
So it really wasn't that terrible bad, but it was just a lot of snow and slick and there's snow like that deep on all the seats.
Yeah.
And then all the stairs and stuff
Oh,
down.
yeah,
there's
like
snow
the
back.
stairs with it. Well, that's a ticket that offers for. We're up in the top
Oh, yeah.
section.
I saw on Black Friday, they were K-State sent out something like they have 100 tickets left in the upper deck, and I'm like, for $29. I'm like, they should be giving those away.
The coldest game I ever went to when we played Oklahoma in the championship game, not the one we won a couple of years before that,
Okay.
in Kansas City. And my daughter was in school at the time, and she got tickets for both of us. And we both had everything we owned on.
Yeah.
You were kind of moving around like this.
Yeah.
And it was a close game. And that one of those was close game and lost, but it was fun. But man, it was cold.
Uh-huh.
And one of the hottest, I think the year before that, had some early season games at the Arrowhead a couple of times.
Yeah.
And one of them,
Iowa
it
State.
was, this one it was one of the preseason. I think we were playing California, something, because it was early 1st of September, and it was horribly hot. I mean, it was.
That's kind of football season. It's really hot and it's really cold.
That's what my wife says. She's a fair weather fan. She'll go in September or about October.
Yes.
Doesn't want to go when it's too hot. Doesn't want to go when it's too cold. But she'll go in.
Yeah.
But we have basketball season tickets and have
Okay.
had for 20 years. So
Well, hopefully they get her together as
Yeah.
they did last year.
yeah, they're still
Exciting
growing.
players potentially.
Yeah,
Caleb Rich, my goodness,
I know.
that was quite a dunk the other night. He doesn't look like he should be able to do that.
No, he's a pretty big guy.
Yeah.
And he can get up and down the floor pretty quick too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he'll be a good one. But
You watch Monday Night Football, Greg?
sometimes.
I usually don't. Years ago, Darnell and I used to watch them pretty religiously, but don't anymore.
Depends on They've got something going on. Which, for us, that. If I got that done, I'm sitting in the office all that. You all depend on which teams work too. There's some more interesting than others, I think.
Right, yeah, for sure.
Well, I have a clock in there.
Oh, good one.
Sorry, okay.
Good morning, Commissioner, Amanda Webb, Planning Director. I have our monthly report for our comprehensive plan update. And as over the last few months, happy to report there's been a lot of things happening. So we'll just go through some things that we've been up to over the last few weeks. The community meetings, we had 11 scheduled meetings and they're all listed there on a table so you can see what dates those were and where those were located. So we've held all of our 11 meetings at this point. Those are the ones that were scheduled. Just a reminder that we sent a notification postcard to each address within the corresponding township about 2 weeks in advance, notifying them of the meeting. We have numbers here just so you can see how many postcards we sent out to each township versus how many attended. The numbers might seem small, and yes, in the grand scheme of things, they are small, but really for public outreach, the ones that have 25, 30 are actually really good. That's actually really good attendance for that kind of thing. At the bottom, you'll see the number of postcards we did send out versus the number of people who attended over the 11 meetings. And again, yes, it's very small. It's only about 5% of the people who received a postcard. So again, some meetings were a little lower, some were a little bit better. You know, it just all depends on what people were interested in or if they were available or whatnot. But it's always great to get as much as possible, but I'm definitely happy and appreciative of the people who did come out to those different meetings. Got a lot of great feedback. We're able to distribute a lot of information to folks. Of course, we gave our PowerPoint presentation, and then at the end, we had an interactive activity that I began calling a pop quiz because everybody loves that. And so we asked 5 questions at the end of each presentation for each meeting, and we have them up there on the screen. What we had folks do, everybody got index cards and pencils. If there wasn't a requirement, again, this is all about the public outreach. It was nice if they could do it and then provide us those postcards, but we didn't force anybody to do it. But at the various meetings, we did get a lot of folks filling out those postcards in some manner. So we were happy about that. I'll have all of that information compiled and put together for you folks for next month. If you remember, and I'm sure you're very excited, so you do remember that we're going to have an hour on the 18th of December to talk everything comprehensive plan update that we've been up to over the last several months to really give you the full picture of what's been going on, the input we've received, and some of the next steps. So I'll have all of that information compiled for you for that meeting. But just some of the kind of general things we heard repeatedly from folks over the various meetings. People like the agricultural rural nature of the county. They like the small town feel with the big city amenities of Manhattan close by. People appreciate the people, the safety, and the landscape. Most of the concerns that people shared were generally over road maintenance, high property taxes, accommodating growth, i.e. where's it going to go? It was interesting. Some people said, well, it's got to come north. We need to go north. And other people, of course, said, no, keep it. It's got to stay in the city of Manhattan. It's got to stay. So it was just an interesting mix, not unexpected, but still interesting to hear from various people. And then there were folks that were, that kind of felt that a lot of the resources, if you will, were kind of funneled and stayed down here rather than reaching up to some of the small cities and more rural areas. So those are some of the things we heard fairly regularly over the several meetings. Again, I'll provide full information. We're going to compile what we received on the index cards, and then also
I had somebody with me at each meeting taking some notes as well, so we'll provide all of that to you. Any questions about the community meetings before I go on? So the public input survey, you can see I wrote this before Thanksgiving, of course, and at that time we were at 580. Then I sent an email to everybody in Riley County, the county, not the county, all the workers, I should say. And this morning we had 670.
Oh, good.
So, I mean, I'm sure it's a combination of those folks and folks from community meetings and things, just being able to take it. But I was really happy to see that jump. Things were going up. So that was really great. Excuse me. So it's open through this Friday through December 1st, because we do eventually, of course, have to cut it off, even though I would love to get as much as possible. I do want to note that this, of course, will not be the last time that people can get public input. This is just when we're going to end the survey and compile those results. But there will be plenty of opportunity for people to still give public input to review what we're doing, to be aware of what's happening. So just want to make sure people are aware that that was not the only opportunity. There will be more. Let's see. So for the survey, we mailed 600 notification postcards to random addresses over the last few months. 250 included inside of Manhattan city limits and 350 outside of Manhattan city limits. We spoke to our committee network to ask them to help us spread the word. We had our social media posts. Of course, as you know, every community meeting I attended, I asked who's taken it, and there was a few over all the meetings, but then I was able to talk about it. I had the URL on their agenda, so I was able to talk about it, how important it is that people take it. And since we were having those meetings, the numbers did increase as well. Excuse me. And then I always ask the attendees to let their friends and family and neighbors know that the survey was available. And then also through the survey, 124 people so far requested to be added to the mailing list. So I have those, and then everybody who provided their email addresses that came to the community meeting. So those lists will be kind of compiled, put together, and that'll be the list of emails I'll use to keep people updated here. Hey, there's a meeting coming up, or hey, there's draft language or something like that. So I'll use that as our mailing list, if you will, our email mailing list to keep people updated that way. So just a random sampling of comments. I won't necessarily read all of them. Again, I literally went through. We had the general comments that we received with the last question. At the time, it was the 580 respondents. And I just literally went through and just picked out random ones, just so you can see just some of the different things that people have been saying. Again, I will provide, so probably with December, it's going to be a little bit more of a summary at this point, because there's going to be a lot of work that's going to go into compiling all of those survey responses. We were very excited to get as many, but then conversely, we have to then do something with them. So it's my intent to get all that put together, and then that information will be released not only to you folks, but out for public consumption in January. That's my goal. I want people to be able to see, even if they didn't wind up taking the survey, or even if they did, what are other people saying? What are some of the comments we received? So it's definitely information that will be out there available for folks. And again, just a sampling of demographics of folks who have taken the survey so far. Again, this was with the 580 last week before Thanksgiving. So you can see, of course, the majority live within the county, and of those, a little under 41% live in unincorporated Riley County. That's a pretty good amount, and actually, since we were having the community meetings, that number went up. So I was really happy to see that. Of course, the most, about 50%, are in city of Manhattan. And then, of course, the rest is scattered throughout the other small cities. But I was happy to see that we have about 41% as of last week filling out the survey that live in unincorporated Riley County. And still the highest percentage of respondents have lived in the county for more than 11 years. So we have more long-termers. We have, of course, people filling out who've been for less time, but that's the highest percentage bracket that we have so far, people who have lived here for a while. Let's see, age range, this was the same as last time, 35 to 44. 65 plus has increased a little bit more than the 45 to 54. So we still have a pretty good spread, not a lot of the younger folks, but we do have some. And then again, just say 65.5% work full time, and approximately 20% are retired, and almost 75% work in the county. So again, just a few random samples of some of the demographic information we're collecting. How the survey platform provides that is it'll give the pie charts, and so I'll include that in the December updates. You'll be able to see those pie charts and exactly, you know, the percentage and the brackets and all of that different stuff with each of the demographic information in your packet next month.
Amanda, I had a question. When you say 74.6% work in the county, that's the entire county,
Yes.
not everybody. It's
Right.
not just the rural area.
Right, yeah, work in
Okay.
Riley County.
All right, that's what I thought.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Any other questions on the survey before we? So our comprehensive plan committee has grown to include 39 community members, some from regional, local agencies or businesses, some farmers. We've definitely gotten a lot more farmers and ag producers over the last few weeks. Several of our committee members, and even I believe even maybe one or two people who attended the meetings expressed concern, and completely valid concern, that at the time we really didn't have much ag representation on the committee. Of course, we want as much diversity as we can on these committees. So we've been able to secure, I want to say at least 5 or 6 at this point from various areas around the county. So we've definitely gotten some good ag representation onto our committee. So that's really important that we have that. So we are up to the 39 community members from, again, a variety of backgrounds. And then we have our 14 county staff. So the county staff are from departments that are public facing, essentially. So people who deal with the public in some manner. Not that I don't want to hear from other people. I'm always happy to hear from anybody, but I was just thinking those departments that deal with the public on a regular basis might have an interesting perspective to provide. So this is our most up-to-date roster, our committee roster. And what somebody at one of the community meetings had asked, because I talk about the subcommittees at community meetings, they asked, okay, who's on this committee or who's on that committee? And at the time, I wasn't knowing off my head, and we were still putting them together. So I've updated the roster to, of course, have the name of the committee member, who they're affiliated with, and what subcommittee or subcommittees they are on. And you'll see that there are some that are not on a subcommittee. And again, that is perfectly fine. Some people just want to participate in a more general manner, and we are happy to have any input and participation that we can. So again, just showing the variety of different folks there and what they're going to be a part of. Let's see what else do I have. So just a reminder of what the subcommittee groups are. Some groups have had more meetings than others. It's just all dependent, of course, on people's schedules. I'm hoping I can get them wrapped up and kind of having some semblance of draft language by the end of the year. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be, verbatim, here's what we're saying, but at least kind of have draft language would be great, but at least some sort of direction. Here's, what the group thought was important and, what we want to work towards, that kind of thing. And I know some of the groups have gone a little further to start doing some draft language. Everybody said that the worksheet I was able to put together was helpful, so I'm glad for that. And again, all of the input that they provide will be available for public review as well. That I'm also targeting for January, might be a little bit later, because I also like to get the full group back together for reports before we have that information out. So we'll just kind of see, again, as I mentioned, some of the groups haven't met as often as others, so I just want to check in with them to see, how things are going and how much more time per se that they might need before we reconvene the full group for reports. So
But I will provide a summary of the group discussions that have occurred so far with their December updates, what they're doing. Just other information there, where you can find the website, the survey, and the email. And then again, your year-to-date full update occurring December 18th, 10:30 a.m. And as noted, so of course, I'll provide a compilation of the public input from the survey. Again, it's going to be a little bit more of a summary rather than the full compilation. As yet, but that will come, that will be available. We will have the input from the community meetings. That's going to be a little bit easier to compile than the 670 survey responses. You'll get the demographic charts, because again, that's it. The survey platform just shows the pie charts, so those are easy to paste into your report. And then you'll receive your summary of the subcommittee discussion so far. And then we'll talk about a tentative timeline for next steps and project completion. I.e., when are we going to be able to reconvene the full group, the whole committee, I should say, providing draft language, public meetings, et cetera, all of that. We'll talk a little bit more about that, how we're going to move forward. And then we'll also discuss possible document titles and logos. Right now, of course, it's called Comprehensive Plan 2040. Not very exciting, so we want to start thinking about coming up with a better title for our document. And I envision that coming from, in some semblance, coming from the community input we received. Making sure that the word we use or the phrase or whatever reflects, what's in that public input. So, and we can talk about logos. Again, nothing's set in stone. If you want to use our current logo, that's perfectly fine, but we just want to have that conversation to see if you'd like to do something different. So. And I think that's all I have. Do you have any questions?
John, do you have anything?
I don't.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you.
Thanks, Amanda. Next commissioners at 10:10, you'll have Shelley Woodard on resolution finding the Keat Sewer project is still feasible. I hope so. Good. Sure they, see you guys here. Yeah. We'll be going at 10:10. I know that's why you're here.
Oh, we're here for entertainment purposes.
It's warm in here anyway.
It is.
You know?
It is. So do you live up by University Park then?
Frog Holler, you know where Frog Holler is?
Uh-huh.
The last house on Frog Holler.
Okay.
How long have you lived there?
Let's see, my son's been about 32 years.
It's only 20.
Well, maybe not youngest. Your son?
My son Blake, he's
Okay.
the oldest, he works at KSA Bank.
Okay.
Now I got
You
these twin
for
dogs.
the concrete guy?
Mhm.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah, he helped on my house here 2011. I had him then.
Yeah, he worked there, I knew Rick and talked Rick into hiring him, it's like 15 years. You know, no one will do that anymore. So we're looking to get on farm, something small town with on farms.
Yeah.
That work ethic and no one hiring farms.
Uh-huh.
I talked to Rick and he said, hey, I did drywall construction all through college, so like kind of learned that stuff. Rick hired him on, and Rick said, yeah, here he's kind of running through.
Oh, yeah, he knew what he was doing.
Well, and then
He's a young guy too.
Yeah, he was just a little guy. And then he worked Plumbing Brothers Construction. All through college, he's owned houses. So,
Okay.
and that crew, the guys that know that crew had worked with like some different vendors and stuff. Just and a couple brothers. And work with those guys.
I don't know which one.
Non-stop. He's just always been that way. Yeah.
That's super duper. And then you have girls that play basketball.
My daughter's Madison.
Finally.
My daughter's Madison. Okay, but one's RN nurse at surgical center. The other one's a physical therapist at Oklahoma City. Okay, one's a coach at Italy.
Well, no, I mean.
Okay.
There, and so they were guys who were the youngest. And they were football. Football, yep. And then my youngest daughter.
Didn't sound right.
They got some college. Matter of fact, she's playing in Riley County alumni game tomorrow night.
Okay.
You know, where the alumni play against scrimmage against five. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah, we've been out there a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how many back where Frog Holler is?
You know where Stockdale Park Road is, going down the
Oh,
lake.
okay.
Yeah,
we just.
you know, the 4 mile corner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Heading, east on it down there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about 3 miles down that road. It wasn't all that there, it's north. It's a gravel road off that asphalt road. It's just kind of curved around there. Mile and a quarter dead ends right at our place, our driveway.
That's not right.
Yeah, in fact, they're kind of like that,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
for sure.
That is nice.
You know.
Yeah.
Kept
Yeah.
updated
We really enjoy it out
with
there.
I live on the end of Silver Spur, so it's on the Silver Creek Road, so it's included nice there too.
Yeah, yeah, can't beat that, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had plenty of snow to shovel, I know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. There's stuff I could not pick up on my phone.
Okay.
There's like 6 messages from you, Shelley.
You were popular this week.
Yeah, I guess so.
And by proxy, I guess I was too then.
Well, I sent one out last night, which was too late.
It's not like these people who are going to do
Really? Yeah, put chocolate guys.
I heard that. I was wondering what they were doing.
Yes, and that's what that is.
Yeah, it's tough.
My
Once people,
sidewalk and driveway are all on the south side of the house, so we get.
once it gets drove over, or stepped on, how it just adheres to that concrete. That's when I was shoveling yesterday. Of course, we got back late from the game and pulled in on the drive, in that part there. You can't hardly break it loose yesterday. That was a treacherous drive home. Those roads were not clear.
Yeah.
After the game the other night,
Yeah.
and it's close for us. I can't imagine all the people driving from a distance to go to the game.
Yeah. I told my wife, I
Especially
said,
this one's going west.
I bet any hotels that were open were sold out that night because smart people just stayed.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were probably a lot of cancellations though, people that were gonna come to the game and decided not to and canceled their.
Yeah,
hotel room.
I'm sure. I was actually surprised for as bad as the weather was, how good the attendance was really,
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it filled in very late.
Oh, yeah, I know it would.
It was at the last minute.
Nobody's coming in early, so that's.
No. The parking lot was just a mess.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because they didn't plow that. And you couldn't even see the
Couldn't
numbers.
see where the,
You
yeah.
couldn't see.
You couldn't. I had to get out and scrape it off with my foot to be sure in the right one.
My oldest son, Cody, got in line as a student, got in line at 3 to go to the game, to stand in line. Then he got on the front row. So
Yeah.
I saw that group of kids that was down there. Oh, he must have been frozen by the end of the game.
he said it really wasn't too bad because he, dressed really well for it.
He obviously wasn't the one there was one up front without their shirt on. That
Trying to
wasn't
remember
him.
the,
That's good.
Not him this time. He did have his shirt off at the Baylor game, and he got on TV for that. Like, oh boy.
Whose kid's
I'm trying to
that?
remember the last time we actually.
Yeah. The guy beside him took his shirt off and he was trying to get other people to do it. He's like, no. And he goes, well, okay, if we score the next possession, will Baylor immediately fumble the ball on the 1 yard line on a punt or something? And we ran it in on the next play. And he's like, oh, brother.
And then he made it on TV.
Yeah. And then he was on TV.
Made the family proud.
Yes. Oh, yes.
You ready, commissioners?
Yes.
Good morning, commissioners. We have a resolution, it's just memorializing the vote that you had following the public hearing on the Keys project. Voting that it is still feasible. The resolution does account Commissioner Ford for your no vote as well, if that's in there and unrecorded. And so, as you know, we operate by resolution here, and so that's what this is for. It's just memorializing the vote that you already had. So do you have any questions about that?
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'd move the board pass the resolution confirming the decision from November 16th. Keats sewer project is feasible.
This, do I have a second? I'll second it. It's been moved and seconded that the board pass resolution confirming the board's decision on November 16th that the Keats sewer project is feasible. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
It's been- Motion passed.
Please sign.
After where Clancy is still not back in the office, I think we can roll ahead to not come back until after. So you pre-planned out a long time ago, but if you have any questions, I'm happy to try to answer them on this. Comings and goings of the council's office, and we discussed a lot of that last week. But happy to answer any questions that I can.
Yeah, when did he say he'd be back?
I believe he gets back into the office on Wednesday, so he should be here on Thursday, unless he's catching up. So there's a chance, depending on how things are going. Probably would be here myself. Mr. Ford, did you have any questions?
I do not.
I didn't want to forget about you.
Thank you.
You're kind of dark up there. Do they have lights off or is it just the
It did. The lights just kind of flicked off. I think you have to walk around there on a motion detector, but I'm actually getting ready to lose the battery on my laptop here too, so it might be part of it. So I think that might be my time to exit at this point in time. I think you only have one other item on the agenda, and that's just the budget amendment, and we're good on that. I'll be heading back tomorrow and should be there in person on Thursday. So get all the snow cleared for me on the way home.
Well, have a safe trip.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a safe trip.
Yep. We'll see you on Thursday.
Okay.
Next, commissioners, we have the 2023 budget amendment, 10:30.
Do we want to push it up a little? since
I
everybody's here?
probably wouldn't on a budget
On a
amendment.
budget,
I mean, so
okay.
we encourage people and then do it
Yeah.
before they're here.
Okay.
If it was something like a staff update, I wouldn't be hesitant, but in
Okay,
case someone, is not happy about a budget amendment or just wants to have something to say about it.
okay.
Could be a time when our friend Gary Olds might show up.
Well, that's true. He's usually here earlier though.
He is. Well, a couple times though, he's walked in on a press conference, public comment a couple times late and saw we already passed and turned around and walked out before. So for our K-State football scores, it's going to be between you and Greg, both tied at 3 to see who wins the football pool this year on the bowl game. So
Oh, okay.
the other 3 of us all have 1. So
Oh, well, we
There's-
did real good.
even with double or nothing, we couldn't catch it. So.
Well, I'd have been okay on this week's if K-State would have won.
Yeah, that score.
I had it real close,
Close.
47, 21. Yes.
See where we end up.
I just
Yeah,
always
really
hope we
good
play a
competition.
team that's, looked upon as being better than us, because we always like to prove what we can do against a good team. I don't like it when we play a lesser team. But I'll still watch it and still be sure, see if the wife will make some food for that day, and I'll enjoy all the festivities for sure.
I could freeze some of my turkey that's left over.
I like turkey. That's what I had for dinner last night, just turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, and cream corn. That's all I need for Thanksgiving. And then pie afterwards.
Oh, pie, yeah.
Did you have plenty of pies?
Oh, yeah. Had me a piece of leftover blueberry pie last night.
That sounds nice.
Got either apple or pecan on the list tonight. So one of the twins, Michaela, is like a primo baker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like pie crust and everything from scratch, She made 5 pies.
That sounds
5 pies.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of
I
pies.
need to come over and try those out.
Yeah, no, she's
And give you a report.
excellent baker.
I tried making pies once. Pie crust from scratch.
Oh, that's tough.
It's a piece of leather.
And she says you have to practice it, you gotta, the consistency.
Gotta work it too much or something. I tried it a couple times.
Yeah, she's got to be just
No.
right.
We even butchered a couple hogs this early spring and made lard for the pie crust.
Did you really?
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, you
That's
have.
going all in.
Yeah, not many people know how to do that stuff anymore neither. And my grandpa, I remember as a young kid doing it about Thanksgiving over at his place, and
Uh-huh.
told the kids all about that, and they were all in. The kids loved doing it, and son-in-laws and all that, they all loved chipping in and learning how to do that stuff.
Yeah. Too many people use lard anymore.
It gets the bad rap, and
Oh,
that's a say, my grandpa lived to be 104. And my
lost a
grandma in the middle of her stove was always a thing of lard.
yeah.
Grandpa grew up eating lard every day of his life, and flour, and
Mashed potatoes.
and so I'm not so sure it's lard that's bad for us.
Exactly.
Or beef or pork,
It's just volume.
Yeah, this is probably a combination of all of the dietary habits. My sister recently developed a pretty severe allergy to the protein in dairy, so not the lactose, but like the protein. So she has to cook with lard now because she can't cook with butter.
I just wonder too, what's causing all these intolerances? You never heard of that stuff when we were growing
Well,
up.
hers is so bad, she has to have an EpiPen. And it's real sudden too.
Yeah,
It's not
just
something
Don't
that
know
she
what's
had.
causing all
And we
that
don't know
stuff.
why.
Chemicals.
That I could
Chemicals.
believe. That I could
Probably.
believe.
Well, maybe chemistry. They even modify all sorts of seeds and
Mm.
grains and things that we never did. I mean,
We put a lot of foods in as additives to other foods too, so you get a lot more things like corn that you wouldn't have eaten as much of because it's an additive into a lot of other.
Soy is a
foods.
really big one. It's
Yeah.
additive.
Yes, soy is
things.
another one.
A lot of people are sensitive to soy.
Well, the big thing I've heard, was listening to is that canola is becoming a real big thing for growing and, you know, for farming and
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
canola and
Canola oil.
and canola oil. And
Mhm.
I think they were gonna reopen that sunflower factory out in Goodland for canola.
Oh, really good.
Yeah, if you've never seen a canola field, it's really pretty.
They are.
They are pretty.
And it's gotten really big in Northwest Kansas.
Yeah.
You know, when they do the ag use stuff, one of the things they look at is the top crops grown in every county, and canola has started to pop up in some of those Northwest counties in the crop, you know, in their major crop rotations.
Mhm. They don't give that in the farm report, though. They don't have canola as one of the grains.
Not yet.
Not every day, and they just.
Not yet.
And
But we're also starting to see cotton in South Central Kansas pop into the cotton, which is also really pretty in the spring. It's-
Mhm.
Northeast, I lived there, tobacco.
Oh, really?
Because there's still,
Really?
there's still some places in Missouri, but, you know, Weston.
Uh-huh.
Other places that they got, there's.
Just was at the Weston Old
Well,
Tobacco Trading Post thing
Oh, wait,
a couple weeks ago. We made a little trip to Weston.
Janet, Blazinski, they do tobacco,
Oh, really?
or they did,
Uh-huh.
20 years ago when I.
Right.
The kids hate it because it's all, you know, it's all planted, you have to plant each one of those by hand or something.
Oh, really?
It's really.
Labor intensive.
Not enough anymore that it makes their crop like lit, you know, the county crop list, but it has to be more than 5% of the overall crops grown to make that list at Cador. But there's a lot of interesting specialty crops out there that you don't see on the big list, but are definitely that people are doing across the state. I met somebody who, you know, I mean, wheat in general is on there, right? But I met somebody who's doing like heirloom wheats, like ancient heirloom wheats. You know, that was pretty interesting because brewers have started to want to use those.
Mm-hmm.
And so they've kind of brought back some old, you know, heirloom grains that really hadn't been produced much in a long time. So
That'd be interesting.
What
really was, and barley. You know,
like how old is ancient?
like pre-colonial times.
Oh, really? That long ago?
So
Where are they finding those grains?
some people have kept them alive over the years.
Oh, there are vaults and vaults of every
and then
kind of
there's that,
grain.
yeah, really. Is it Switzerland or Norway or somebody up in the tundra has a seed vault where they keep seeds. I don't know if you can get access to that. Like, I have no idea how that works. That's way outside
A
my.
lot of that stuff's highly protected too.
But, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I know my ancestors brought seed wheat over from Germany, and that was like in the 1800s. And they would grow it every year and replant it for seed. But I don't know how ancient that is. Or if it's even around. They probably have it in Norway somewhere.
I was recently reading on it's a red corn that's used for oil that almost went extinct after I think it was Hurricane Katrina. It might have been a different one, but there were like 2 ears that they knew of left, and they were able to keep it alive. But it's gotten more popular for the oil of it because it's more hardy to like extreme climate, temperatures like from heat and cold and stuff, and without chemicals, and so it's gaining popularity. But we almost lost it.
So it's red corn?
It's a reddish color. I don't know what the name of the breed would, specific variant would be, but it's one of those that had been around for a long time, but it wasn't popular because it's not really an eating corn. And so it wasn't as popular as some others. And there was really only like 1 or 2 farmers who were farming it, and they were down in Louisiana where they got hit really hard with the hurricane and lost most of their crops. So.
The history of learning.
For sure.
My daughter's, this new German Shepherd. Sheds a lot. I don't have it right in my closet. It's like, ew, it gets in the air. Yes, it's just, my dog gets the shed. So, my goodness.
How long's your daughter stay?
She'll leave tomorrow.
Gotcha. Well, it's nice that she got to come
Yes.
down.
Yeah, but she works remote. She's working
Mhm.
today, so she's. I left her, she was cranking at the computer, getting ready to work, so. She's one of those people that can work remote, and be very
Mhm.
conscious and
Mhm.
spend a lot of time at it, not get distracted.
So when's the Big 12 championship game played?
Saturday.
What time is it? Do you know?
I think Arsenal, it's one of the early ones, I think. So, you know, it's all. Well, I don't know if they changed it to 1 o'clock.
So who's in it, Texas and
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State? Huge. Not both of them, well, Texas is even next year.
That's what. It was after, that's been after the Oklahoma State game, went back to one of those panels. They were talking about it. He said, oh, yeah, well. I know the Big 12 was upset because they wanted to see, a lot of people in the Big 12 were upset. They wanted to see a rematch between Texas and Oklahoma for the championship game. I'm like, you don't know the Big 12, do you? Nobody wanted either one of them.
Yeah, I did not want those two.
Yeah.
I'm so glad one of the other teams at least got in.
Yeah.
That's all we'd have heard.
But
All
again, that's why they're, because the national media, they don't know those.
that's
They don't know.
all we would have heard though, is
Yeah.
see why they're leaving. They're the only ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that old assistant Michigan coach gets some job offers. He's done pretty good while Harbaugh's out, and he speaks real well and, deals with the media real well and has done a good job coaching in Harbaugh's absence. I'll bet he'll get some offers thrown his way.
Of course, part of the set Harbaugh's off. Harbaugh's at practice all week. You don't not allowed at the games.
Oh, but still, I'll bet
But still,
I'll bet he gets some mileage out of it.
Well, with all the openings, except they're starting to fill up, A&M starting somebody,
Who'd they hire?
Duke's coach,
Hmm.
Elko or something. I guess he had been at A&M as a defensive coordinator and then left to Duke a couple of years ago.
Be curious who Houston gets now.
Yeah. I think there was one other one that's listed. We hired somebody hired the offensive coordinator from Oklahoma.
Those are much chatter about our defense. Is there?
Oh, yeah.
I'll bet.
Couldn't figure out how they all of a sudden
Couldn't
couldn't tackle.
I heard one explanation. the uniforms of the other team were white. They couldn't see.
Oh, we lost.
Yeah, I heard
snow.
that.
Yeah, I saw them. They posted something like that.
Tackling
We
air,
couldn't
huh?
find them. We couldn't find them in the snow.
It looked like that. It looked like that.
And they were slick. They couldn't hang on to it, right?
Well,
It definitely looked like we couldn't find them.
Yeah.
Gosh.
He just looks slow.
That was tough to watch.
Oh, have to be there and watch it
I
too.
was there.
Yeah.
I know.
You were at the game too. Yeah,
So cold, I can't imagine.
it was real wet was the problem.
Yeah.
You know, if it weren't so wet, it wouldn't have been so
I was
cold.
fortunate. I was under an awning type area.
So, yeah,
Did not get the wet.
people were putting on the ponchos and we should have done it early.
Mhm,
you
for
know.
sure. Ready, commissioners?
Yes.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brittany Phillips, Budget and Finance Officer. I'm here to talk to you this morning about amending the 2023 budget in accordance with KSA 79-2929AA. So this allows you to amend the budget without increasing ad valorem taxes. This is just based on other unbudgeted increases in revenue, such as unencumbered cash at the beginning of the year, as well as any other revenue that may have come in, such as fees, miscellaneous collections, grants, just any revenue that we did not foresee taking in. So these are the funds that we are currently looking to amend. County Building Fund, amending it to $499,630. Our CPD, $5,510,779. Solid Waste, $3,347,458. Community Corrections, $1,240,940. Health Department, $5,836,605, and Hunter's Island at $34,515. We would look to publish this 10 days prior of our hearing, which is scheduled on Monday, December 18th at 10 a.m. Are there any questions?
The community corrections and Hunter Islands, I have asterisks under the KSA and statute, so we're not required by law to.
Correct. We're not required by law, but then it does pull up on our audit that we had a budget violation because we exceeded our budget authority. So if we go over that, we're not so yes, you're not required by law, sorry, to hold a budget amendment, but yes, we do get it notated on our audit, just like we did this year with was it Fairmont Heights, I believe, or no, Lakeside Heights, we had those, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yep, you're
Yeah, Riley County is unique to most public entities in the state of Kansas. And it was when I first started my career in the late 90s, the county commission was getting criticism about not publishing or not budgeting all funds and publishing those because we're only required to budget certain funds by state law. Any capital and special benefit districts, we are not required to. And so this one publication was accusing us of hiding. Well, we weren't. We're doing everything else every other public entity in the state does and is legally required to do. But at that point, the county commission made it a Riley County policy to budget all funds in Riley County. And so since we do that, we do budget all funds, then we have to do budget amendments for all of them since we did budget them. And so that's why we do that for some of those funds that aren't under those KSA authorities requiring us to do so. Just a public policy that we made decades ago. And frankly, I think it's a good one. It actually helps us, we have one of the highest bond ratings in the nation for any size public entity. And part of that is because of that, that when we have those interviews with them, we point that out. Hey, we go above and beyond what most public entities do. You can see everything we have. And so that is one thing that helps attribute it to us getting that high bond rating as well. So we do go above and beyond on that. And something that commissioners need to know and public need to know, just because we do this budget amendment doesn't necessarily mean we're going to exceed the original budget. But at the end of the year, when we're getting close, any fund we see is getting close, our policy is to budget the full amount just in case, because you can't go back and correct it later. And you have to get it published ahead of time. You know, if we knew December 25th, we're going to exceed, it's too late. We don't have the timelines to get it done. So it's just a precautionary measure in a lot of them. I did expect it, as commissioners remember, during the budget process, county building and RCPD, both of those because of the higher cost we're seeing in building maintenance, and then with RCPD building maintenance and inmate medical.
Medical.
Yeah, so I did expect it for those two for sure, but it's precautionary is what it's for. And it doesn't increase taxes. We're not increasing taxes. It's only based on revenues that have been collected already.
And that's the other thing, though, where does it show where that money came from? We're saying we got more expenditures, but where's the money to cover it come from?
Yeah, Brittany can do those reports and show you, that we
I
collected.
don't know if that's what it refers to a page number. Is that the backup page?
Yeah, so-
that shows where it came from?
Yeah, so on
Because we
this,
didn't get those.
okay, I can definitely email those out to you and I can show you where that extra revenue came in. A lot of it, like community corrections and health department, those were grants.
They got new grants.
Yeah, Hunter's Island was unencumbered cash at the beginning of the year. It came in higher than what was originally projected. So that just means that they didn't spend everything at the end of 2022.
Okay.
County building, again, that was also unencumbered cash. And then RCPD, I believe, was also unencumbered cash was higher.
Okay.
And then solid waste had
Corrections, new
increases.
grants and
Mhm.
solid waste, probably that's how much more came in.
And what you have to remember is always when we're doing our budgets in July,
Yeah,
we haven't had the
we
audit
haven't
completed
had-
from 2022. So we're going based on an estimated ending 2022 balance as opposed to, the one that's finally been audited. And so that's where you get that higher than anticipated beginning balance.
Oh,
The good news is for the taxpayers, it's not an increase in taxes.
just to let people know where we're at.
Mhm.
I guess John's gone. Anything else?
I can get a motion on that to publish that budget amendment.
Find it here. Yeah, I'd make a motion to approve publication of the 2023 budget amendment hearing.
I'll second that. It's been moved and seconded to approve the publication of the 2023 budget amendment hearing. All in favor?
Thank you, commissioners.
Health department, did you figure out what that mess up was on last month's? Remember that health department thing had one.
Yeah, I do remember that. I had inquired. I don't remember if I ever got a response back on that, Greg. I do remember you saying
Quarter of the third quarter.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember
Something
It
that.
was out of whack, yeah.
Let me go back and look at that.
Yeah, I think, isn't Julie out of town? Or is she
I
back?
do not know for sure. Do not know.
She was actually-
I don't know, I know there's a lot of people, they sent us notes saying they're gonna be gone. I can't keep track of all of
Kind
them.
of that way in the
If they're here,
holidays.
they're here, if they're not.
Is Corey back yet? Corey Meyer?
I don't believe he
Corey
is.
Meyer? I don't know. That's why you're still here, right? Okay.
I'll be here for a break for a while.
Okay.
No,
Unless I keep turning dials, I shouldn't.
wipe out everything.
We'll have to put that in your job description, huh?
We'll get her a dial
Duty
certification.
Dial
Dial certification. Let's get her signed up.
I think the out of state training in Hawaii, last I heard, the dial certification.
Was that one?
I think I wrote
Definitely the monitoring.
Well, do you have any other business?
Okay.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the, what is it, November 27th meeting of the county commission.
I'll second that. So moved and seconded to adjourn the November 27th meeting of the Board of Riley County Commissioners. All in favor?